Give it back. Give it back right now. My month has been stolen from me. I know Elizabeth Warren can understand my struggles. Well, maybe not her, but her tribe understands it. Let me explain. Feminists, oh feminists, where are you? I thought the full-fledged feminists were all about girl power. And yet, during this Women's History Month, that is all of March, I have heard nothing about women. Instead, everything is trans, which makes sense when you have the leader of the free world always talking trans, especially trans kids. But it's about love.
It's just that simple. It doesn't matter whether it's same-sex or a heterosexual couple. They should be able to be married. What is the problem? Transgender kids is a really harder thing. What's going on in Florida is, as my mother would say, close to sinful. I mean, it's just terrible what they're doing. It's not like, a kid wakes up one morning and says, I decided I want to become a man, or I want to become a woman, or I want to change. I mean, what are they thinking about here?
Well, my 3-year-old told me he was a spaceship last night, and that I was a spaceship, and Daddy was a spaceship, and his sister was a spaceship. So should I go out and buy some rocket fuel to inject in him, or do I cut off his arms and legs first? Or would you consider that to be sinful, like my mother would say, but apparently not Joe's? You know the word sinful, as in sin, as in an immoral act, going against God's divine law. Words. They mean things. With that comment, Joe just moved ahead of Nancy Pelosi as the worst Catholic. Per usual, Joe makes about as much sense as the pride he has for all the women who aren't women, but think they're women, and he's proud of those women, but not women.
More than half the women in my cabinet, more than half the people in my cabinet, more than half the women in my administration are women.
Joe's full steam ahead on the trans train, and the actual ladies are left at the station. But because it's men who think they're women, it's totally okay. Which brings me to today's question. What has been your experience of women being put into second place or even third place behind the trans train? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and then share this video with all of the women you know. As we know, corporate America is also behind this wokeness, and during Women's History Month, it's been about the trans, not the women. Here's Hersheys, trying to get a few more sales by releasing a limited edition Hersheys bar. You are supposed to celebrate all she is. Okay, fine. Except the actual ad for the bar is not about she, but it is about a he. A 2SLGBTQIA plus advocate, he, to be exact.
My name is Faye Johnstone. I'm the Executive Director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world where everyone is able to live in public space as their honest and authentic selves. See the women changing how we see the future at Hersheys Canada.
Of course it's the Canadians. Justin Trudeau was probably going to do the ad if that guy was busy coming up with more letters for his pronouns. Here's the thing, Hersheys. You are a chocolate company. And if you want to be stereotypical, a big part of your clientele are women, especially during a certain part of every month. And during that part of that month, those trans women are not even able to participate because they lack the biology. I know that doesn't stop them, though, from pretending.
Why? Stop. Why is this thing not hot? I swear to God, if anyone says welcome to womanhood.
And pretending is what they keep doing so that real women, the ones with the body parts that God gave them, the uterus and the ovaries, those biological women are just shunned. So then you have those pretenders appropriating my gender and stealing my month, like the maniacal Dylan Mulvaney, who is lost without attention on him, like when he interviewed Joe Biden late last year.
Mr. President, this is my 221st day of publicly transitioning.
God love you.
Thank you.
And now that attention was on the actor, he had to keep ratcheting it up. Since that interview, Mulvaney has gone under the knife to attempt to look more feminine, and when he didn't get dates from it, he got mad. He told People magazine, "I'm getting a little impatient because especially when you're feeling yourself and even looking at that Grammys picture, I'm like, that's somebody who should not be single. But then you're like, wait, why is no one in the DMs?" DMs means direct messages, as in why aren't people gawking at my social media and messaging me to tell me how amazing I am? Now that Mulvaney has claimed to be a girl for an entire year, he of course needed to make a big hullabaloo.
It's day 364 of being a girl, and we've just arrived at the Rainbow Room for my big rehearsal for the show tomorrow. Let's go. I'm here in my dressing room, and here's some of my merch. And right when the show starts at 8 o'clock, I will come out in my opening gown.
Yeah, that's enough. In fact, that's way more than enough. And maybe I shouldn't care. And really, I don't care. I think the whole Women's Month is stupid to begin with. But I certainly am not about men who think they're women getting to use their high heels to stomp all over real women. And that's a problem unto itself, because what women do we have out there right now? The women who get the attention, the women who have the powerful positions, the women who young girls could look up to. And that brings us to... Where in the world is Kama-Lama-Lama Ding Dong? You would think the Vice President of the United States is a woman that all little girls could look up to for wisdom and admiration. Yeah, I know you're laughing at that. But realistically, like little girls, Ding Dong likes Venn diagrams and school buses and even water.
What we'll do around greenhouse gas emissions, what we will do around water policy. I think we're going to talk about that. I love water policy. Let's talk about that a lot.
It can be
what
dry, but very important.
Exactly. But let's have that conversation.
I heard you love water policy.
I do,
right?
actually. I do.
Tell us about that.
I mean, even just the origin stories. Growing up in the Bay Area, we had one of the, back in the 70s, huge, extreme drought, and, just learning from an early age the precious nature of it all. Water policy.
Neat. Those last words were spoken on International Women's Day. How profound. But instead of encouraging little girls to grow up and be who they want to be, Ding Dong is alienating half of the public.
And we talked about it in the context of conservation. In fact, I'm going to share with you a very simple story, which is that I went home one day and I said, well, why are conservatives bad, Mommy? Because I thought we were supposed to conserve things. I couldn't reconcile it. Now I can.
Not to be outdone, we have the First Lady, or some would say, the one pulling the strings. The one who should be in prison for elder abuse, but is instead still pushing literally and figuratively all that her husband is doing. Hey, she's a doctor of education. And she can't even tell you what is a woman because she's not a biologist. Instead, there on International Women's Day was Dr. Jill to present an International Women of Courage Award to a man. At least she had encouraging words for all the females.
Again and again and again, they wake up to find a world made for someone else, and watch their brothers and their fathers and their uncles and their neighbors rise and grow while they are told to shrink, told that they're not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy of the lives that they dream about. But today, we're here to tell girls everywhere the truth that they need to hear. Yes, you matter. Yes, you can make a difference.
And yes, you will see a man just come right up here and take one of the awards. One of the 11 Courage Awards went to Elba Ruda. Ruda is Argentina's special envoy for sexual orientation and gender identity, and the country's first trans-identifying politician to hold a senior governmental position. So brave. As you can see, it takes a lot of balls to be a woman of courage. And since we are still on that note, even Aldi, The one grocery store that I can still afford to shop at is betraying women. Or rather, it is betraying the bunnies. Geez, Aldi. You are meant to be a grocery store, not the local porn shop. The packaging says bunnies and chicks, but it looks more like bunnies and... Get your marshmallows out of the gutter. Unlike most of the political class, Aldi at least admitted their blunder, acknowledging that we can't even defend this one. And that's why I like Aldi's. That and the low prices. Well, and the aisle of shame. If you know, you know. Now, I've had just about enough of this month. And more importantly, I've had quite enough of the trans movement trying to make women capitulate. If you can't easily answer what is a woman, just know that you are part of the problem. Know what a woman is and keep giving your F's. Faith, family, and friends. And, if you could, please help this woman out by grabbing some swag at FreedomProject.com/store. Until next time, stay healthy, America.